Alf, it's Friday. We've got a snowstorm coming here in Raleigh, North Carolina, so we are buckling down. Not something crazy, but actually just making sure that the hot tub is ready to go for later. Today we're going to talk about how to make money in sports cards, selling sports cards in 2025. I had an amazing comment by viewership that we're going to go over because I think it's stuff that's not talked about enough. Let's dive in. What's going on, sports card hobby family? It's another day. It's another sports card video. We are back again. I dive into today's topic, our Friday shoutouts, justcollect.com. You've got a collection that you want to sell, maybe half your collection, trying to figure out what is it worth? Who should I go to? Check out the easy appraisal site, the easy appraisal form on their site. And also make sure to go to the Just Collect YouTube channel. A lot of great interviews done by Leighton Sheldon over there, as well as education around cards. Card Capsule, guys, you want great supplies. You don't want to pay a fortune for them. Card Capsule has the best stuff at the best prices. Of course, you know I've got a promo code down for you down below. It's a struggle talking today. I apologize, but make sure to check out all the links in the video description, especially Card Capsule, as well as in the pinned comment. All right, so I made a video the other day, and I had a viewer comment, and I thought, you know what? I should make a whole separate video on this comment because I thought it was really ingenious, something that is not necessarily talked about a whole lot. And it's kind of a mix. So it's kind of an in-betweener between dollar box buying, where you're buying a $1 card to sell it for $2 or $1 card to sell it for $3, 50 cents to sell it for $1, kind of that the high volume, very, very low end. And it's also not the stuff that you mainly see on social media nowadays where it's, I bought a card for $5,000 and I flipped it for $20,000 and I made money and blah, blah, blah. That's, of course, been the focus point around a lot of sports card content over the last few years. And I can't blame it. Look, it's that whole lifestyles of the rich and famous thing that we've been talking about. It's the same reason why people watch the Kardashians. It's the same reason why people watch, Selling Sunset or whatever, on Netflix. It's because you want to see what people at the high, the top 0.001%, what are they doing selling $20 million houses, or the Kardashians driving around in Lamborghinis or whatever they're doing. People are interested in that. It gets views, it gets looks. And so buying a $50,000 card at a show, that's going to get more looks than, YouTube title that says buying a $9 card at the show like the average hobbyist does. Okay, so what this guy threw out here, and I thought this was interesting, kind of threw out his bread and butter, what he's doing. Essentially, it's modern cards that have come out over the last couple of years. And he mentioned in a separate comment too, giving a little bit of time so that the shine comes off a little bit. You're not necessarily paying the opening singles prices as soon as a product is released, but giving it a little bit of time, couple years, within the last 2 years, picking the right players and opportunities. So I think what he means there is just picking the right players and the right sets, and then buying literally at $3 to $10. So we're not talking about buying a $50 card, a $100 card, a $500 card, a $10,000 card, buying $3 to $10 cards. I'm going to assume here he's talking about the right players. Maybe it's a star player. Maybe it's Josh Allen. Not necessarily a rookie card. Maybe it's a Josh Allen insert card, and it's like the Prism version of it, and you can get it for $7 or $8, $10. It's not necessarily the gold out of 10 or, the ones that are very expensive, but kind of a lower end, but a cool card and a collector card at a collector price point. He grades these out, $3 to $10 cards. And the goal is to sell for $60, $70. And my thing is, when I'm looking at this is, if you can net out, if you can buy at let's say you bought at $10, you grade the card, you're in for $30, you're able to get a PSA 10, sell it for $70, and maybe after taxes, you've doubled your money. What this guy does is he does this at volume. He completes these transactions. And of course, you're going to have to look at the gem rate on certain cards. What has got a higher gem rate than others, because it's going to all boil down to how many 10s are you getting? Maybe you're breaking even on the 9s, or maybe you make $5 or $7 on the 9s. But the idea is that your 10s pay for everything, So if you're able to gem out at 40 to 50%, and then the 10s kind of pay for the cards that come back at 9 or heaven forbid an 8 or something like that, then you've done pretty well. And if you do that at scale, then you can actually do pretty well. He says that he puts that money back into the hobby and just kind of recycles this thing. And that's how he's essentially able to buy raw, grade, and flip. It's not necessarily buying an expensive card. And when I say expensive, might be a $40, $50, $60, $80, $100 card. It could literally be a $3 to $10 card, but in a PSA 10, maybe it's a $50, $60, $70, and maybe in certain instances, maybe it's a $80, $90, $100 card, and you can do well on it. Now, of course, the one thing that we have to talk about as well, as I know, especially just talking specifically about 2024 Prism football, I'll use as an example, there's been a lot of talk about QC issues. I've seen videos where it's like, hey, my gem rate on new football product is really bad. You know, it's at 30 or 40%, 25%, whatever it might be. And so that's something you have to take into account. Which sets can give you the most bang for your buck, and which ones don't necessarily have big QC issues or common quality control issues? Are they coming out of the packs looking good, or is it tough? And then, of course, it's going to depend on your eye to be able to see that card, whether it's at a show or online. This strategy would probably make the most sense going to a show so that you can see the card, you can hold it, see if there's any sort of a surface thing, see if there might be issues with edges, corners, centering, etc. Probably best strategy to go to a decent sized card show and to be able to buy these in volume. You know, be able to say, you know, for all these $5 to $10 cards, hey, can you take less if I'm buying in bulk? I could see this strategy working really well. Again, assuming you've got a good eye for cards and being able to get those 10s. Hopefully you get those 10s. But I've watched a great vlogger, Trike. Throw up a picture, Frank, of Trike's channel. He does a great job of kind of breaking down his journey as a dealer. And one thing that he has said consistently in his videos is, you know what? The PSA 10s typically on virtually all of my PSA submissions pay for the submission. So even when it's a bad submission, usually the 10s come and save the day. Usually the premium is just enough on those 10s to come in and save the day. So I thought that was interesting, something to kind of keep in mind. The other thing the commenter mentioned here as well is to pay close attention to pictures that you're putting on eBay. My buddy DPZ's got a kit that he got on Amazon for $15 or $20 or something. And he puts some wicked pictures of his PC cards on IG. And that's something that I could definitely use to get better at when selling on eBay, is getting those pictures looking really sharp, because it does make a difference. It does make your cards stand out among other cards. And also shipping costs, making sure you've got that down pat. Basically making sure that your overhead expenses are on point. You know what your grading cost is. Maybe you're able to take advantage of a grading special to where instead of $20 to grade with PSA, maybe it's $14 and you're able to do this in bulk. You're able to sell in a good size bulk order, that sort of a thing. So anyway, wanted to share this because, again, it's not the low end. It's not necessarily the dollar box stuff. It's also not the high end, and it's also not even really the mid end. It's kind of the lowish, in between kind of that low to the mid. Am I making any sense? Probably not. But it's not $500 cards. It's not $200 cards. We're talking about buying kind of right in that sweet spot, getting 10s on star players or maybe an under the radar rookie. I thought this would be an interesting topic to discuss with you also. So thank you very much for that, viewer, for sharing your strategy. Friends, have an amazing weekend ahead. Hope that we don't get snowed in here. And if we do get snowed in, I'll be in the hot tub all weekend. Stay healthy. Stay awesome. I'll talk to you again later.